Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 1. Really satisfied with that from Manchester United this evening. We've got the job done. It was, I thought, a real banana skin for Manchester United, considering the injuries that we have. I wasn't really trying to make that as an excuse, because I feel that these players, the likes of Alexis Sanchez, Paul Pogba, Romelu Lukaku, are all good enough to go out there and help get the job done. I just didn't think the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez are in good enough form to go to Crystal Palace and to do what is needed in the attacking areas to get Manchester United over the line. And we've gone there and scored 3 goals, and I'm really pleased with that. I didn't see us being able to get 3 goals away at Crystal Palace with the amount of injuries that we have at this moment in time. So it's a credit to Manchester United that we have a strong squad, and I believe that. Okay, some of the players haven't stepped up to the mark enough over certain periods of the season, likes of Sanchez and Lukaku, but these were top players, and okay, they've fallen behind Sanchez certainly, but they've still been top players, and you've got them players sitting on the substitutes bench. You've got to still be happy that you're basically backup players. A lot of clubs don't even have them stature of players playing for them. So Manchester United have got the job done. Lukaku getting the first goal in the first half, a very well taken goal from Romelu Lukaku. Great to see him back along the goals, and it's probably his first brace for a very long time, which is great to see, because when Rashford's out, when Martial's out, when Lingard's out, he has to deliver, and he's delivered tonight, and we know he can score goals, and these are the type of opposition that usually Lukaku eats up for breakfast and scores goals against. So I'm hopefully very happy. Obviously playing in the more central role this evening had to be utilised in a wider area against Liverpool due to Marcus Rashford not being able to do the tracking back and stuff like that, due to being pretty much a one-legged man against them. So obviously we've made a number of changes for this game. We've seen Diogo Dalot playing as a right winger, which I thought was a bit weird considering we've got Tai Chong on the substitutes bench, but he just doesn't seem to want to really have the faith to start these youngsters at this moment in time in big games that we've got to be winning in order to get in the top 4. I think if we were a bit further clear in that top 4 race, then definitely Manchester United could afford, and Solskjaer could have afforded to maybe giving a few youngsters more game time this evening. But I mean, the midfield, obviously Scott McTominay in there, obviously with Paul Pogba, but I don't think Scott's doing too bad for Manchester United, to be honest. Having to replace Matic in there, which is very difficult, and also we've seen Fred in there as well. Fred's got to step up more to the plate for Manchester United, definitely to start repaying that £52 million price tag. And we've got other players in and around the squad, the likes of Pereira, who didn't play tonight, who are looking to take the chance, and obviously Scott McTominay plays in a slightly different roles to them, obviously more defensive midfielder. He's been utilised for Manchester United, but still taking up places in the squad. But I think he is coming along, Scott McTominay. I think he is turning out and could potentially be an important squad man for Manchester United. But second half, we've got that second goal, nice take and finish from Romelu Lukaku to make it 2-0, and I really thought the game was done and dusted then. I really did. I thought Manchester United had got the job done. Sadly, we've let Crystal Palace back into the game. I think it was about 67 minutes when they scored the headed goal to get them back into it. Ashley Young being at fault. Not good enough, Ashley Young, to be starting week in, week out. Shouldn't be. Should be back up at best. I didn't think that he deserved to get a new contract due to his age, as well as I don't think he's good enough either, but I just wouldn't be giving big contracts. He's got to be on over 100 grand a week to players that are like 32, 33. I just think it was madness giving him a new contract, but he did kind of make amends, scoring the 3rd goal, slotting it in from a Paul Pogba pass. So really pleased with that. Really pleased with that. I mean, Luke Shaw again, very good. That bombing forward reminds me of that time when he broke his leg, where he was bombing forward into the box, and he obviously broke his leg, but he bombed forward, passed it to Lukaku, and obviously Lukaku finishing that one very well. So it does look like Luke Shaw hopefully is getting back to his best, because that was his best. Just before he broke his leg, he was playing absolutely fantastic. And at the time, I thought he was up there with the best in Europe. And we just haven't seen that enough consistently from Luke Shaw. But if we can see more great performances like we've seen in the last couple, well, certainly that one against Liverpool, fantastic performance from him there, and good again tonight. If we can continue to see them performances, he can certainly start staking a claim as the regular England left back, and certainly moving forward for Manchester United, it is great. With the defensive side, Manchester United can start getting more solid, because we know for sure that Luke Shaw now is the main left back for Manchester United. Over the last 2 or 3 years, he's been in and out the team, and we've had no one really to put there. Been putting Ashley Young there and shit like that, but he's staking that claim. We've got obviously Lindelof at the back, then it's whoever partners him, and I think Diogo Dalot, although he did very, very well in that right wing position, because he is a right back and an attacking right back as well, so obviously did do well there. It's just a shame we couldn't see Tai Chong there. But when that second goal went in, the third goal went in, which brought it back to 2-1, it really stopped Manchester United bringing on a couple of youngsters, and we only saw James Garner come on right at the end for a cameo appearance, but still fantastic. Only 17 years of age, got a lot of promise, James Garner. So it's nice to see him make his debut. I can see why he brought him on over Tai Chong, because Tai Chong did make his debut in that game a little while back in January when we played Reading at Old Trafford. So obviously that made sense. It's just a shame when it went back to 2-1 that we had to bring Rashford. He chose to bring Rashford on, obviously because the game was on a knife edge. Then he also brought Eric Bailly on. If he hadn't brought Eric Bailly on, then we could have brought Tai Chong on as well when it went 3-1. But it just wasn't to be. It was also a shame that there was no Angel Gomez along the substitutes tonight. It really is a shame, because he needs to be playing football now, and he's not getting that at Manchester United. He seems to have fallen behind Chong and Garner in the pecking order, and probably even he's going to fall behind Mason Greenwood, because Mason Greenwood should really be higher in the pecking order than Chong, and Garner is the best youth player that Manchester United got at the club. So if that's the case, then probably next season Gomez will need to go out on loan, because this squad is heaving with players. I mean, we've got 10 injured players, I believe 9 or 10 injured players, and we've still been able to get out this strong a team. Well, I mean, I thought we might struggle to beat these, because it is a difficult away game going to Selhurst Park, but we've managed to get the victory with 9 or 10 players out, which is still a credit to Manchester United. There's not too many other Premier League teams that would have had 9 or 10 members of the first team or substitutes that would have been able to go out there and to have put on a show and get the 3-1 this evening. I mean, you're looking at a lot of these teams, even the likes of Liverpool, if they have to bring in a number of sort of squad players, their team would be very thin as well. Manchester City obviously have a lot of high quality backups, better backups than Manchester United do. Manchester United, some of them aren't performing at the level, obviously the likes of Sanchez aren't performing at the level that they should be, and Fred. But still, these players have been bought for big money and are experienced players, and I would prefer to have them over a number of other clubs who would have to bring in players from their under-18s and academy straight away. So really pleased for that for Manchester United. We've got the job done. We move on. We've got a home game against Southampton coming up at the weekend. It's just a shame that all the other teams around us, Chelsea and Arsenal, both won this evening. Hopefully maybe Tottenham can do us a favour at home to Arsenal.